Can I ask you about some specific sort of things that Andrew Huberman might talk about as treatments for health treatments, and you tell me the efficacy of these or your opinions of it. First, I want to go over is like a cold plunge.
Yeah.
Is that helpful? Is that what have you seen as far as that's concerned?
Again, personalization. There's a gene called UCP1 that is responsible for thermoregulation. And I've seen so many, especially women, that don't do well with cold plunging. So for the person who it works for, it's an incredible tool.
Especially women. Yeah, you're right. I can get girls to do it one time. I'm addicted. I don't want to do it twice a day. Yeah.
So if you're wired for it, incredible tool. Neurochemicals through the roof, dopamine, BDNF, through neuroplasticity.
You don't need caffeine anymore.
You feel incredible.
Great. Yeah.
Now, if you don't thermoregulate properly, the confusion over that extreme stress after repeated incidences, like 2 weeks in a row, let's say, because you can't thermoregulate, you can't reset, the stress that it causes, your brain confuses that with battle. And it starts to pack visceral fat on your belly because it wants to protect you from the blade that might be coming.
Yeah.
And you see people actually gaining the exact purpose why they went into that thing, to burn fat off your belly.
Yeah.
They actually start storing a couple weeks into it, and they can't understand, well, maybe I need more. Maybe I got to do it twice a day, right? So then we find women that are more estrogenized and more estrogen dominant, same exact story happens a few weeks into it, that worrier response starts getting triggered. The stress put into this genetic profile versus put into this genetic profile equals a different outcome.
Yeah.
So great tool if you're wired for it, horrible burden if you're not.
Sauna and steam room.
So I think sauna is probably the one thing that everybody should do. There is some specificity around the different types and who should do what.
You meant the red light sauna.
Red light versus traditional. So the traditional sauna is more like a surface level stress.
Yeah.
So it's better for getting you into a heat shock protein stress a lot faster. So if you want neurogeneration, neuroplasticity, if you want cardiovascular benefits, so disease prevention. Anti-aging, mitochondrial function, red light. It's subcutaneous. It goes deep into the tissue. But women, again, have to be careful because the red light is subcutaneous, deep into the tissue. Silicone melts at 250. If you have breast implants in a daily red light sauna, we see women with breast implant illness that their sauna had part to do with it.
So no saunas for Las Vegas.
No
Las Vegas women in the sauna. Okay, got it.
Yeah, but in general, so I'll tell you a story about this. There's a study that was done in Norway. So there's a gene called BDNF, brain-derived neurotropic factor, and it's responsible for making BDNF, which drives neuroplasticity, new neurons in your brain, which helps you think, learn new skills, and maintain your long-term brain health. So Norwegian people have genetically consistently the worst BDNF, right? This causes, because you have poor neuroplasticity, when you experience something new, it has a lot of meaning to it, sort of a risk adversity, right? Big drama queen response to everything. Meanwhile, they're also voted, sorry, not Norway, it's Finland. I made a mistake there.
Yeah.
It's also voted the happiest country in the world.
Yeah.
Because the sauna that they use daily more than any other country per capita in the world is a potent BDNF upregulator. So why do I say this? Because genetics is not a sort of, it's not the end, it's the beginning. What do I now need my epigenetic habits to look like to regulate my genome as if it was homeostatic in middle, right? So now that I know my DNA, my BDNF is broken. Gene says it clearly.
Yeah.
I need to do the sauna daily to upregulate BDNF because it does it so powerfully to maintain brain health, maintain my mood, not be a drama queen, learn things faster. Right?
Nice. Yeah. And then what's this? Is the steam room different from a sauna?
Oh yeah, it doesn't. It can't. You can't be in there long enough to induce the stress you need for that heat shock protein. So sauna.
How long would you need to be in there?
So you need, the first 5-10 minutes in here, like this is nice, this feels good, and then it's like this is hell. I need to get out of here.
Yeah, around 15.
Yeah, you need 10 minutes of that.
10 minutes of the bass bar?
Of the hell.
I can do it.
When you're counting every minute,
so we're talking like at 15 minutes?
Yeah, so it takes you 5 to 10 minutes to get into that state of that anxiety, and you need 10 minutes of anxiety.
Yeah, I can barely breathe.
Yes.
I push myself to like 15, 16 minutes, and I stretch in there because for whatever reason, my body can stretch so much harder in the steam room. So
I haven't got to level, man.
But at the end, you're right. I'm suffocating. It's too hot. Intermittent fasting.
So same exact story, personalization. Again, especially for women, right? So in general, go ahead, men, do what you want, right? I do believe that it's a stress on the body, and I don't think it's like an everyday, always thing. Go through bouts, go through cycles, switch it up. I intermittent fast every day to I do a 48-hour fast once a month, and I do one day. Women specifically, if you're more estrogen dominant, more than twice a week, consistently back to back, it's going to make you sick over time.
When I mean intermittent fasting, I just mean you don't eat your first meal until like 6-7 hours after the day
like
starts.
a shorter eating window. Yeah. So even that for an estrogen dominant woman is too much if it's consistent.
Okay.
Right? Androgen dominant women, and again, genetically you can figure this out, not as big of a deal. Because the response is more warrior, less worrier, right?
Yeah.
The signal of, oh, this is famine doesn't happen when you're more androgenized because you're designed to be a warrior, right? So I would say the big thing that's missing from this whole intermittent fasting thing, which is sort of somewhat new and everyone's doing it and doing it a little too much, is do mix it up. You need to shock your metabolic system, not train it to do something consistently.
Got it. And then keto, paleo, vegan, and carnivore.
All need to be personalized.
Okay.
Right? So there's genes around amylase activity for starch metabolism. There's genes around how do you break down fat. There's genes around enzyme activity for plants. There's some people where I tell them the reason you got sick is the day you became a vegan. And it's clear that your ability to take your kale and your spinach and actually turn it into nutrients, you can't do it. You can't metabolize vegan proteins. You're going to not do so well. But I also might tell someone that you need to go be a vegan. Like literally, they may be genetically wired for it. And it's very clear. You can see it. The big one where people get stuck is keto, because it doesn't matter who you are. The first couple weeks feel great. You get into ketosis, you're burning fat as fuel, you have ketones in your brain, everything feels awesome. 4, 5, 6 weeks into it, the ApoA2 gene, if you have a suboptimal version of that and you can't effectively convert fat into glucose and use as energy, you're going to start to feel horrible. Brain fog, hormones get disrupted. But because it's so far down the path, you don't blame the keto diet that felt so good in the first week or two, right? And we see this consistently over and over. By the way, with some very famous people that sort of pioneered the keto movement. I don't know if I should drop names, but someone who literally created it, we had to tell them that you are not wired for this, and that's why you're sick, right?
Yeah, I can definitely see that. Gallon of water every day.
So I think there's more to water than just a gallon of water.
Yeah.
I think we're underhydrated because of lack of minerals.
Okay.
Right? And this is where we're compensating by dumping more water in. Yes, we need a lot of water, and most of us are dehydrated. But a big part of that problem isn't so much the water as it is we're lacking the salts. The water's dead, right? The water, if you actually look at the physical structure of the water molecules, it's all broken. Like you should have this beautiful snowflake when you see the water freeze, but it's not. It's all, the arms are all twisted and broken. So structuring the water, there's devices you can get that you can actually put your cup of water in. It will structure the molecules so they can actually cross cell membranes and get into your cell. Adding a pinch of mineral salt or getting minerals as a supplement so that you actually have the ability to get the water into the cell. Also, what time are you drinking your water? The vast majority of your kidney function, your body desires to have between 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., right? So people that are drinking outside of those hours, especially in the evening, they're underhydrated. And also, how do you drink your water? When you're slowly sipping it, that's a signal to your body to metabolize it slowly. When you're chugging it and gulping it, it's going to come out fast also. Your body will actually respond to how quickly you take it in, right? So it's not just about how much I drink, but all these other considerations.